First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And then upper 70s on
almost
Saturday.
80 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Well, and you know what this does mean is that once the rain comes in, what it looks like now on Sunday, we have like 4 or 5 days of rain. But, they'll say we really need the rain.
Yep. Well, you needed it.
So, yeah. Okay, so much to get into here today. And I just want to start by tomorrow night, the Utica Comets are home. Everything seems like that game is going to be played. The last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games
crossed.
Have been canceled or postponed due to COVID issues. But it looks like it's being played, and there are still tickets available. And it's an all-you-can-eat and drink type ticket.
Which is really awesome. And Rob talked about this when we spoke with him a couple days ago. Might be something that they consider to be a package deal going forward in the future.
Something you could,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like
you spend one price, you get beer, food, soda, water.
So we're looking at it's $45 a ticket. You got to buy them in twos. And here is, I think this is good to go. Like this is a pair of tickets that we're giving away today. So we just want to, and it's basically we have to give them away today because you're going to have to get. It's either you have a card that says you've gotten the vaccination, or you have to get a rapid test.
Right.
And you have to bring it with you to say, yes, I'm good to go. And then they'll let you in. And I have a pair of tickets, 2 tickets, Comets in Rochester for tomorrow night. If at any point this morning you want to call in and say, I'd like to enter into the contest, before we leave this morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to give them away. These are, they're decent seats. Section 215, row K, seat 8, and seat 7.
And when you're one of 400, there's really not a bad seat in the house.
You are. That's the other part of this. You're one of only about 400 people that'll be inside. So 315-736-0186 is where we are, and take advantage of it because I think we're nearing. It feels like we're nearing an end.
And think about it.
Although I do not like looking at Europe right now.
No, Europe's really bad. Although have they had the success that we've had getting shots in arms? President Biden saying that we're ahead of the game over many other countries when it comes to that.
How about Amazon coming to Frankfort? Amazon coming to Herkimer County?
Huge.
That's a big story, big news. We'll speak about that. Tiny J. Powers on libraries and banned books and the pandemic. We'll do that. We're going to stay on the topic this morning of that apartment complex that is planned for next to the Stanley Theater. Lisa Wilsley is on Wilesley, I guess is how I should pronounce her last name. She is, of course, the executive director of the Stanley Theater. And is on later on this morning in the 7 o'clock hour, Dr. Hall in the 8 o'clock hour, and John Decker is on this morning, among much more that we'll have to get to. So you want to start out with somebody interested in the Comets tickets?
Yeah, so Rosemary already says she's interested.
All right, let me Rosemary, where are you from? Good morning, Rosemary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where are you from?
Waterville.
All right. Why should we give you the tickets when we leave here this morning?
Well, I don't have anything else to do tomorrow night, and I'd really like to see a hockey game.
You've never been to a Comets game?
I've never been to a Comets game.
Oh, you've never been. That's a good storyline right there.
I love her honesty. I didn't have anything better to
Have you had the vaccine, Rosemary?
Yes.
And whoever you would be taking with you, have they had the vaccine?
Yes.
All right, because you'll have to show the card. It's funny how we've all said we're not going to be. They're not going to be able to do this, requiring a vaccination for somebody. They're not going to be able to do that. Well, We're already seeing it start to happen here. I mean, you could go get tested, but you got to show that in order to get in. That's the state. That's not Rob Ash or the Comets. That's not their rule. It's the state rule.
Yeah.
So you do what you can do to get people in. All right. I'm going to give you to Andrew. He's going to get your phone number down. Hopefully before 9 o'clock, we'll be calling you, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, Rosemary, stand by. Don't go anywhere. She's in the running for tickets for tomorrow night. There you go. I think the story on Amazon coming to Frankfurt is a really great story. And while it is I don't know I know they have a name for it, but it's basically a satellite distribution center. So the items come in just before delivery, and we're talking about places that they would be delivering to would be within 1 to 2 or 3 hours out. So maybe this would include delivery out to Fort Plain, or it could be delivery, but that might be covered by the Albany distribution center. Either way, this is the stuff will get there, and they'll sort it, and it'll be shipped out to your home. That's how. And how about the fact that they didn't pit one economic development agency against another, one state against another? It's like, okay, we like this location. We're just going to pay for it. That's Amazon. It shows you the kind of money they're making.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, this area has always been valuable and, rich in infrastructure and when it comes to logistics, right? We've had Walmart had a distribution center here for years. Orgill up in Rome. The Dollar General, I believe, has one here. Tractor Supply, with our proximity to major highways and the thruway and getting to the Northeast, it makes sense for these companies to have distribution centers here.
Well, apparently it does.
And with Amazon now being in Frankfurt, it opens up the opportunity to do some drone testing, hopefully at Griffiths maybe. I don't know if that took part in their decision making for choosing the Frankfurt location, but we'll have to see.
We'll speak this morning with John Pisak of the Herkimer County IDA. He's the director there. We'll speak with him, but that's really, really good news. And I don't know how many jobs as of now, but it's going to mean it'll mean jobs down there.
Amen to that.
We've also heard that there seems to be some activity at Remington Arms. What that means, I don't know.
Well, they've got somebody running the water, turning on the lights, turning them off.
They've taken some deliveries, which, what we've heard before is that deliveries were COD, so cash on delivery. The fact that they're actually getting supplies in is a positive. That's all we know, though, as of now. That was supposed to start, March 1st? Somewhere around March 1st, we were supposed to be looking at new jobs there or jobs returning there. Crazy. A guy was driving through Vancouver and by the way, speaking of Vancouver, you see the Canucks problem with COVID is just getting worse.
Well, we talked the other day. It was 17 of 22 players. I think it's now 21 of 22 players.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah, that is an example of how the virus can spread very quickly.
That is interesting, right? Because usually when you see a spread occur, it will hit, you're wondering, why is it that it's these, why did Andrew and I get it, but you didn't get it, and other people in the building didn't get it? Why is that? I don't get it.
Right.
Now this, you have almost 100% of the team that now has it.
It's unbelievable. Coaches Crazy. As well, and it's unbelievable.
A guy was driving through Vancouver with a bullhorn, recording himself mocking people for wearing masks. You idiot. And telling them they'd all been brainwashed. And there was another guy who was sick of hearing it. He used his bike to smash out the passenger side window of this guy's car. This is how bad this is getting. And this is in Canada.
I was going to say, I love the fact that this isn't in America.
Yep.
What political party is this guy affiliated with? Do we know?
I don't know. It's not clear if the guy with the bike has been arrested, but there's a clear shot of his face in the video. And, of course, there's video, which means there's audio.
You're all doing a great job. Keep wearing those masks, guys. We're trying to wake people up because you've been psyoped. We love you people, but you've been you're literally been psyoped.
Oh, my.
Wow.
This sounds like movie sound effect.
Now? We're trying to wake you people up over here.
I find that to be odd.
The audio there?
Yeah, I mean,
It was
I don't
perfectly
buy it.
timed.
I think it was
Statement, smash.
I think
Statement.
it was completely set up. Because after the first, now remember what's going on here. The guy's in his car, and he's using a bullhorn, and a guy comes up and takes his bike and smashes it into the side of his car. The first smash, wouldn't you react? If you're on the bullhorn,
I'm out of the
wouldn't
car
you,
and hitting
yeah,
that
like
dude.
or you hit the gas because you're afraid this person's going to kill you, and then he hits again, and the guy continues to talk on the bullhorn.
He's so
and
sarcastic.
then he finally smashes the window, and he's like, "Are you happy now?" I that's a
And
weird.
the guy in the bike stops, right? He's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm just going to smash his window and walk away.
That is a weird reaction. Listen to it again. You'll see what I think you'll see what I
You're
mean.
all doing a great job. Keep wearing those masks, guys. We're trying to wake people up because you've been psyoped. We love you people. But you've
One.
been psychologically,
Two.
you've literally been psyoped. Wow.
I love the little noise.
Are you happy now? Yeah. We're trying to wake you people up over here.
And he's still hanging with
And
it.
calm.
It's like, you knocked my window out. Whatever.
Yeah.
I now would have been using my vehicle as a weapon, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do that with your vehicle? Look what I can do with mine. That's how I feel. Anyway,
We're trying to wake you people up.
do you think it's gotten to be that bad? Has it gotten that bad? I guess maybe.
It has. I don't agree with the guy, but I do find that funny. Him driving around. Come on, you're in a trance. Stop listening to these idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. I do find that funny, although I don't agree with it.
How does your kid handle the Easter Bunny? I bring this up because every year after Easter we have the conversation about, or there's a survey done, or some parents group. Some kids are deathly afraid of the Easter Bunny. An oversized rabbit hopping around, coming in your house, delivering candy. Here's candy for you, little child.
So I think going back,
We all know who's in the bunny suit.
Yeah, some pervert.
going back a couple of years, I think he may have been with Santa Claus and with the Easter Bunny. He was intimidated, a little scared, but he's been better the last couple of years. He's not scared of the Easter Bunny.
Listen to these two kids scream and cry when the Easter Bunny shows up. Here we go. Yeah.
Ready?
That's not the Easter Bunny!
Now the kid knows it's some guy dressed in a suit. That's not the real
that
Easter
ain't the
Bunny.
Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
That's
like
drunk Uncle Mark. That's not the Easter Bunny.
By the
It's
way,
like an elf
by the
when
way,
he goes to Artie Lang.
that's the reaction. That's the reaction that the guy in the car with the bullhorn should have had when the guy smashed into his car. Right? Some sort of a reaction.
Oh,
there was none there.
That scene in Elf when he goes up to Artie Lang playing Santa and he goes, "You're not Santa." "Yes, I am, man. Knock it off."
Yeah, you're ruining my cover here. What these kids have had. This is right spring break week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What I was just driving around yesterday. Like these kids have it made. You didn't have to go off to Myrtle Beach or to Florida in order to enjoy just beautiful weather.
So
These kids have it made this week.
I was clicking through the weather channel. I was clicking through and stopped on the weather channel, and it was somewhere in the Gulf. It was one of the maybe part of Florida or part of Texas, but they were given the forecast. And yesterday it was sunny today, looking at a high of about 58 degrees, and I'm like, we're 70 something.
We're
here.
warmer than some states that I mean, it's
Florida's
incredible.
coming up here for spring break.
We'll be
Yeah,
close.
exactly.
We're going to be close to 80 degrees today, and Saturday close to 80 degrees.
You know what I love about this also? If you looked at the forecast last Friday or this past weekend, Easter weekend, it was like, sunny every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with increasing temps, mid-50s, 60s,
Yeah, I didn't
mid-60s.
say this.
And then it was like rain in 40s for Friday and the weekend. Now,
Yeah.
80 this weekend?
I know. Saturday looks beautiful. Then it looks like we're going to have a stretch of rain. But,
Yeah.
they say, and cooler temperatures, but they say we're in a no-burn zone right now.
I didn't know that.
There's a warning because of the conditions are so dry. So
As I mentioned, I don't know if I should admit this, I naively just I mean, it was only a couple hours, but I had a small fire in my backyard, one of those little pits.
Yeah, I guess you're not supposed to do that right now. A guy in Louisiana recently got arrested at Disney World for refusing to have his temperature checked and refusing to leave. Cops' chest cam footage was just released, and the guy kept claiming they couldn't kick him out for trespassing because he paid $15,000 to stay there. By the way, scheduled to appear in court. Here's the audio.
You are officially being trespassed. Are you refusing to leave or are you going? Why? Sir, I spent $15,000. Come here. 2, start walking, sir. You're telling me I spent $15,000? Put your hands behind your back, sir. Refuse to leave after being told to do so by Disney.
Sir. This is like something out of a vacation movie with Chevy Chase, isn't it?
Does Disney security have chest cam footage, body cam footage now?
I think that's not Disney security. I think that's the police.
Oh,
I think that's the real police.
Cops. Yeah.
By the way, you could have taken that audio from my backyard. Look, I told you once, you better get going. All right, and he starts counting, and I do that with my son. I do the counting thing.
Right. 1,
He's like,
2.
1, 2.
Yeah, but I can't blame the guy. I spent $15,000 here. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
the moron refused to get his temperature taken. Listen, I have no patience for this crap right now. None. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to. Just get away from whatever business just told you can't be here.
Temperature check, dude? Come on.
Right. And it's not like they're doing it, okay, sir, we're going to give you the rectal thermometer test here.
Right.
They just point that thing at you, and, it's my right. I paid $15,000 to be here. Well, you just blew your $15,000. And, oh, by the way, your wife and kids think you're a real jerk right now.
Sorry, folks. The mascot on front should have told you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Just like the movie.
Park's closed.
Beverly Hills Cop 3?
No, John Candy and National Lampoon's
Vacation.
Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Moose down front should have told you.
According to the a new Pew Research poll, 7% of Americans still don't do what? I know this is very vague, but I'm laying it out here like
what
this.
percentage?
Only 7%. But 7% of Americans don't do this.
Oh, it's a small percentage. I don't think it's wear your mask. It's something like wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Yeah, that's what I would say.
The answer is don't use the Internet. According to a new Pew Research poll, 7% of Americans still don't use the Internet. It's down from 15% in 2015, however. And here's a classic clip from 1994. I'm sure you remember.
What is Internet anyway?
Internet is that massive computer network, the one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
That's Bryant Gumbel asking Katie Couric what the Internet is. I do remember on the radio. I have audio of. I should pull it. I have audio of. Looking at the iPhone for the first time. Somebody brought in an iPhone. That's and cool. It was just, it's not like we didn't know what it was, but it was like I always dreamed that my iPod could call someone, and now it can. It's just the coolest thing in the world. And that was, but this is like 1994. Asking what the Internet is. What's email? What is email?
Yeah, right. 7% of people, did they go up to where your parents live?
Yeah, apparently.
Well,
even my parents use the Internet when and now they have cable for the first time, which is pretty cool.
I will say this. So I have a couple of elderly relatives who I know who have never, I don't believe, have ever been on the Internet. And that was true. My grandmother's been dead for probably a decade now or close to it. And it was the same thing. She had never been on the Internet. She was about 90 when she died.
And I know this makes me just kind of surmise a little bit about all of this and remember just a little when you think about it. I remember the Internet being America. Well, you've got mail. America Online. And you'd log on to their Internet. You were in their closed worldwide, so that you could click over to the World Wide Web, or you could stay within the America Online world, and there'd be certain things, and you could read some things, and then they'd have sponsored stuff in there.
Articles.
And then if you clicked onto the World Wide Web, it would take you outside their confined world, and it would be scary. I mean, where are we? And I just remember people, the computer geek type people. It'd be like, you're not on AOL. You got to do what I do. We just type in these
Wild
numbers
West.
and we just surf on the World Wide Web. We go all over. You're confined into what they want you to see. We don't let that happen. And I have to admit, at the time, I had no clue what all of this meant. You kind of wondered what was going to happen, but now look at where you are today. It's just it's incredible. And then the other part I find that was interesting, text messaging, how that has become so incredibly used today. Text messaging. What was the phone that had the thing where you could hold the button down and it would beep to the other person who also had a phone like that?
I can't remember. It was. I can't
I remember I got one of those, and it was all because you could do that.
It was AT&T or Sprint or something.
I don't even remember which, I don't remember which service it was.
So I went to, interesting, this blows my mind. I went to college with a guy who was from downstate, and he had one of those phones.
Yeah.
And we would be in a classroom, and he would hear, beep.
Right.
And then
it would beep.
you would hear his buddy talking.
I
And
know.
if his buddy was saying something like, you're not going to effing believe what happened, that's what the whole
everybody
classroom
heard
heard.
it. Yeah.
And I just can't believe it lacked that privacy. And that your conversation was just out there. And when you would message somebody, a buddy, a relative, anybody they were around could hear what you were saying.
Thank you, Ray. It was Nextel.
Nextel.
I had one of those phones it might have been the last phone I had prior to getting the iPhone, and I missed it because it would just be, and you couldn't talk to everybody with it. You had to have one of those phones in order to do the walkie-talkie feature or whatever it was. But my wife would have it, and you're right, it was kind of stupid because everybody could hear what you do. I think there's an app on the iPhone that you can get, or your Android, that you can download, and you can do that on your iPhone. Yeah.
Al, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Dummy, I'm with my mother.
Hello. Yeah. Mike says that phone you could use it to get a hold of someone else was called the phone you're talking about was called the walkie-talkie. You may be right. When you think, and really that's kind of what it was. Ray says yes. Nextel. Rob. And there's more Cuomo news too. Right? Is there another woman? What is that? What's going on with this?
The still anonymous accuser that was the aide that was assisting with the phone, helping with the Nextel. They added the element of he slammed the door.
So he said, okay, so there's a bit
Keep in mind, this is the one that the governor's office turned over to police. It's the governor's office that called the police on this accusation.
The element with the slamming of the door, based on this article, is that this aide was summoned to help the governor something with his cell phone. He approached her and either said something that was maybe suggestive, or maybe that's when he kissed her or grabbed her. And her response was, "You're going to get us in trouble." And he slams the door and says, "I don't care," almost like in a moment of passion, right?
Like almost like he's acting to show how into her he is.
Today on the Days of Our Lives in Cuomo's office.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? It's the overacting you get on Days of Our Lives.
And then there's either an embrace, or maybe that's when the grope happens. And she says to him, this is her version, she says, "You're crazy." And then he immediately stops and goes and sits down at his desk and acts like almost like nothing happened. And she describes it as him feeling almost maybe embarrassed. Okay, and then...
Now, I think they're claiming that the governor's claiming that was consensual. A consensual moment.
So from there, a couple of weeks later, I believe, they're both sitting in his office at his desk, and I don't have the actual transcript in front of me, but it's along the lines of, a lot of people talk around here. There's a lot of people say things, and no one can ever know anything we talked about or anything else. Kind of a wink, wink. And then from there, it was just dropped, and he never brought it up. He stressed the importance of not telling other people in the office about this, because
this is the This is the age of you never step down. You don't ever. I mean, you just don't Sorry, all these
because
accusations.
I did not want her to know about the other girls I was flirting with in the office. I told her, don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up. That was the reason, I guess. He's not stepping down. You would have thought with everything he would be gone by now. But he just goes on like nothing is happening.
You know, and the thing that
every time he does something now, we're going to have a memorial for victims of COVID-19. I cannot help but think, he's trying to kind of...
He's counterpunching, right?
Right. This is a counterpunch for his image.
His image, though, even if you bought I thought it was consensual. I thought she was into me. Right?
I agree.
Even if you buy that, it's so many women now. He just looks like he's running around the governor's mansion or the state capitol.
Like a guy on spring break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get lucky.
Yep. And if you ask enough times, you'd be talking about that on the bus ride to Daytona. It's like, okay, if you ask enough girls, one of them's going to say yes. None of you should come home. It's almost like you were on your way to a football game and the coach was giving you advice.
Yes, 98% of women are going to shoot you down.
But
we're going to be hanging out with 12,000 women.
That's right. You just keep asking, and one of them is going to say yes. That's what's going to happen. Now, are we all in, everybody? Yes.
Are there not early 40s women who, early 50s, late 30s women who work in the governor's office? These are all allegations of like 25
young
and
ladies,
younger.
Yeah.
Is that all that works there, or are they only the ones he allegedly is interested in?
These jobs, a lot of these aid jobs are very, very tough jobs.
And sometimes they're like half internship, half pay. It's not very good money.
Not great pay and the whole 9 yards. So, Jeff in Utica, stand by. I'm going to get to you in a second. But I want to take Tonya Powers first. Tonya J. Powers, who's standing by on the line right now. Tonya, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So we're talking about, it's like every day there's another story. It's been a little while, I guess, of the governor and all of what's happening, and he's just hanging in there. He's not going anywhere.
As Cuomo's world turns.
Yeah, he does seem to be going on about, and I guess maybe this is the political playbook now, as you just go on like nothing happened.
It is. It really is. But what I cannot help but say, and I know this will anger a lot of people, but all of those people that were calling for President Trump to step down because of the accusations of the president are all saying, well, come on. I mean, there's been no real accusation. You're innocent until proven guilty. And then I'd like to go a little further. All of those President Trump fans that said, give me a break, they're just out to get him, are now saying Cuomo should step down. So I find it, Tonya, on both sides. Both sides. They're a little talking out of both sides of their mouths.
Amen.
Sorry.
Well, you're right, though.
It is. So in the middle of COVID, Tonya, libraries may be closed, but books are still a topic of conversation. What's going on here?
They are. The American Library Association has come out with its report that more than 270 challenges were made to books in 2020. And when I say a challenge, I mean like a complaint, basically saying this book should be banned. We should not, have this book out for impressionable minds and adults and whoever. Apparently, that's down. It was 377 complaints the year before, and these are just the ones that were formally registered. Which is why the ALA folks say that number of 270 is probably way higher, but because of the pandemic, there probably just wasn't quite as much diligence among people who decided that they would want to complain about a book formally to go ahead and submit that. So that number is probably larger than 270. Apparently, there's only a small percentage of these are actually registered in the first place, the complaints, and it probably was down because of the pandemic.
Who do you who does one complain to when you see a book should be banned? It's like
especially if your library's closed.
I was last night. I spoke with the bonfire committee, and I've submitted a few new books. Who do you complain to? Who registers these complaints?
Apparently, the American Library Association is the one who registers these complaints, and you can look. Matter of fact, the ones that the thing that gets me is if you have a few minutes today, take a look at the ALA.org website. That's where the American Library Association website is. And they've got a section on there right the front page. It says the top 10 most challenged books of 2020.
Okay.
There's also the last 10 years worth. You can go way back, and some of these are ones you would expect. There are like the number one book on this year's list, as well as last year's list and the year before, is one that was challenged, banned, or restricted for LGBTQ content.
Okay.
Conflicting with a religious viewpoint was one of the other reasons that it was cited for being complained about or challenged, so to speak. But there's also things like To Kill a Mockingbird. That's a favorite on these lists. Toni Morrison's works. If you go back a couple of years, even last year, the Harry Potter series was one of those that people complained about and said should be banned.
Well,
was that because of J.K. Rowling's stance on transgender people? Wasn't that
is it because witchcraft? No. Witchcraft is anti-religious.
It was banned and reasons banned and forbidden from discussion for referring to magic and witchcraft. For containing actual curses and spells. I don't know about y'all, but I haven't been able to levitate anything with those spells.
I've tried.
Listen, I about 2 weeks ago had one too many cocktails and felt like the bed had levitated. So
Harry Potter's in my bedroom.
I've been trying Wingardium Leviosa for years now, and
it's not working. It's not working.
No, I feel like I should get a refund. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of books on here that you would be. Some of them may surprise you that have been called to be banned and stuff like that.
Well,
but anyway,
the whole cancel culture thing, we're all running around acting like it's brand new. It's been going on for a long time. I mean, and the difference is it was far more successful years ago.
Yeah, because everything wasn't
everything.
canceled.
You just couldn't. Right, we are not going to allow this, and therefore we're removing these books from schools.
Oh yeah, I mean
wherever.
This has been going on for 20 years now. Remember Freedom Fries?
Freedom Fries. You remember?
There's been there's
Tipper
so many
Gore
things you can point to.
Yeah. There's been a lot of it. All right, interesting stuff. I am definitely going to that. What was it's the American Library Association?
ALA.org.
ALA.org. I will go there and check that out. So
that's where you can take a look at the most challenged books. Put it that way. That's how they word it.
All right, good stuff there, Tonya. You have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Tonya J. Powers from Fox News. Can I take Jeff before you want to go ahead?
This is just on the governor, but no, I can wait.
Jeff has been waiting for a while, and we're giving away Utica Comets tickets. Sometimes it's just like, we can go out to dinner tonight, or we can sit home, and the money I was going to use towards dinner, I'm going to buy Comets tickets, and we're going to give them away on the air because it's such an epic moment that there's going to be an actual event tomorrow that you can go to, and that is that's the Comets game tomorrow night. They're allowing fans. There are still some tickets available, and we have a pair of those tickets. And by the end of the morning, we're going to give that pair away. You're going to have to get, and I think I'm going to do this tomorrow. I think I'm going to do the rapid test. Although it does make me nervous, the rapid test, for reasons that you've talked about.
Mm-hmm. False positive.
If you get a false positive, you're going on vacation in your house for 14 days, and they don't let you test again. Jeff is in Utica and wants to nominate someone. This is all you do. We're just going to take nominations through the morning, and then at the end of the morning, we're going to select one of those nominations and give them a pair of tickets for tomorrow night's game. Jeff in Utica, good morning.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, you know
Thanks
me. I never get anything for myself. I'm doing this for a friend of mine, somebody Lonnie. You guys know Lonnie.
Okay.
Yeah. Lonnie's had it, rough the last 2-3 years. I want to give him and his wife a date night to get out of the house, get away from the kids.
Oh, that's very nice.
So I figured, nice little treat for him. And, of course, if the wife happens to cancel and he needs to find a second, I guess I'll just have to step in.
You would have to step in. Yeah, very good point. Is everybody vaccinated or
Everybody's vaccinated.
Okay.
Even I'm vaccinated. So,
good for you.
So that clears that. Like I say, they've been stuck in the house for a year now with 2 teenagers, and one of them, of course, is recovering from a brain tumor. So that makes it a little hard for them, and as far as planning things for themselves, I figured it'd be a nice little treat for them.
All right, hold on. I'm changing the rules of the contest. Andrew, there's no way we're going to be able to, at the end of the morning, look at these and say, all right, we select so-and-so.
Right.
This will be a random drawing at the end of the show.
Yes.
Okay? Yep. So nominate, tell us why, and we'll do a random drawing because there'd be no way we could. I'd feel terrible telling people no.
They got the vaccination more than 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Yeah, you got to be within that 14-day out or whatever.
Yeah, you got to be outside 14 days.
Yeah. Okay, I like it, Jeff. I'm going to give you to Andrew, and he's going to put that in the hat. That's how we'll end up doing this thing, okay?
Thank you, guys.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Jeff. And very nice of you to nominate someone else. That's very nice. So stand by, and Andrew's going to hook you up. It is right, something Jeff, special. Am I looking at this incorrectly? You actually get to go somewhere for entertainment. I'm just in love with it.
Yeah, I don't quite get it either. I'm actually shocked that there's availability to the general public to go. And because this is something that you haven't been able to do for over a year.
And the vaccine is really what's giving you the opportunity to do it.
You haven't been able to go for over a year. You're absolutely right about the vaccine. And this is it's not exclusive because you're not the only one, but this is a very limited opportunity. I think it's very cool.
The key is that it's not exclusive, that you're going out with other people. I think that is the... I mean, I've done a lot of stuff by myself or just me and my wife, but you're doing something with other people. Yeah. Like we went, one of the coolest things I think we've done in the last year was we went to that hotel at JFK. For us, that was a cool, it was nostalgic. And honest to God, the most difficult part of it was, so this is an airport that's done up like the old TWA. It's in the old TWA wing. I've talked about it on the air before. Look over there. See that jet? That's a bar. You walk up like you'd walk up the plane on the steps of the airplane. You walk in, there's a bartender inside. It's a bar.
That is so cool.
But it wasn't open, so we couldn't get on it. The stores that had all these cool things you could purchase wasn't open. There was no one. There was a handful of people in the lobby. Most of them were flight attendants that were held over and would fly out the next morning. But the fact that there was no one there and it was just us, I think if you'd have told me that 2 years ago, I would have been like, wow, that's cool. You mean we get this place all to ourselves? But today you realize how important having the hustle and bustle of people being there. And it just wasn't the same. And all the people that work there were like, oh, you should see this when COVID's over. This place would be packed. It'd be, they'd be dancing down there. It would be something. And meanwhile, it's just us sitting there looking at the bar, a table on the dance floor by ourselves.
I say to people sometimes, I miss your face, and I just miss everybody else's face.
It feels that way. It really does right now. So I'm, and there's more talk about if we're vaccinated, more talk that there'll be some normalcy, even as early as early summer. And a lot of people are getting the vaccine. We hear a lot about people who aren't getting the vaccination. There are a lot of people that are getting it, and that's a good thing. All right, I got
a quick Cuomo thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was just a comment from somebody with a law enforcement background. The young girl thing on the governor and the girls in their 20s is more about choosing girls that don't have power. The older women might have a bit more power. They're more established. They're more likely to know what his past is and more likely to tell someone. The younger girls would fear being fired. It's a typical abuser move.
I've heard that theory, and I think that's probably part of it. The other thing is, I just think Cuomo likes young girls. I mean, I think he likes them in their 20s. And that's a guy that can never grow up, never lived the life that he wanted to live when he was in his 20s. And now he's trying to live it now where he's in a position of power.
My favorite movie was always Peter Pan, the idea of Neverland. It appealed to me.
All right, Andrew. I also know guys who are into older women that are just a little bit older.